Welcome to Write for Joy. My name's Allie Cross. I'm a USA Today best-selling author and certified life coach. I have chased joy my whole life until one day I realized I already had it. I found my joy, and now my goal is to help you find yours. Joy is all around us, so let's see if we can grab some of it for ourselves today. I'm Allie Cross, and this is Write for Joy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Write for Joy. I am super excited to have my friend Michelle Henrie here with me today. If you can see her, she's just so beautiful. And behind her, you see all this beautiful artwork that is drawn by her. Not only is she a talented writer, but an artist as well, and just such a good-hearted person. So to give context to that art, that was her job before she started writing. She taught art for 20 years and has sold her work across the States. She also designed one of the floats for Utah's Days of 47 parade. And this is a big deal here in Utah. It's like the West's version of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. There are hundreds of thousands of people who come to view this. I wish I'd known Michelle then, because I would have liked to have seen the float, but I'm very thrilled to know her now. She has won awards for her writing and is currently agented and on sub. So that's super exciting. This is just another of her adventures because she is an adventure-loving woman. She flew in a biplane that landed on an iceberg. She rode on a camel, and I believe she is a belly dancer because I caught some of her moves at a recent conference. Now she lives here in Utah in a blue house with her family, where she makes up new stories and laughs at her own jokes. I love that. What is life if you can't laugh at your own jokes, right?
No one else might laugh. That's why you have to laugh.
Right. So welcome, Michelle. I'm so excited to have you. I just love you.
Thank you so much, Allie.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the story that you have on sub or what you're working on, whatever you would like us to know. I know that you write across a couple genres at the moment. So just tell us about what's tickling your fancy right now.
Sure. I have a rom-com on sub right now, and it's got some Darcy influences in it, but it's contemporary. Oh, yes. This is like one of my pieces of art I've done on a t-shirt to promo my book because I have faith it will get out there eventually.
What does it say?
It says, "Does Darcy do dishes?"
Oh, I love it.
Again, that's my weird sense of humor, so I think I'm funny. And then I also have some picture books going. Well, I've got one on sub and then another in a series. And it's all about how art intersects with different aspects of learning. So these books are meant for a classroom, a museum, things like that, so that parents or teachers can help kids see how art influences or change the world and how those things intersect. That's what I already said, but it's still true. So those are the ones that are out. And then I am rewriting a middle grade fantasy right now. And it's so close to sending into my agent. I am so thrilled.
Pieces of?
What's that one?
Is it the one that I've read pieces of?
No, that's the next one I'm going to be getting polished up to send to her.
All right. Oh, I'm so excited. You've got so much going on. That's got to be so exciting. And
it is
fun.
That's and then I'm just writing another sci-fi short story right now, too.
Of course. Why not?
Of course.
Just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I love it. You are quirky. And it's probably one of the things that I love most about you is you are very authentic and like the laughing at your own jokes thing. That is such a beautiful way to approach life. is to not take ourselves so seriously. I have to admit that I took myself so seriously for too much of my life. And it's
Me
really,
too.
it's nuts. Like I wish I could go back to my, my young woman self and say like, it's okay to be your quirky, weird self. People will still like you. Maybe the
I
wrong people
agree.
won't like you, but it's such a relief to finally let yourself be yourself.
It's really the beauty of living
Mhm.
that when you know somebody, you know all those fun sides of them. Why not let people know the real you from the beginning, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Our young selves sadly did not possess that wisdom, but at least we have it now.
That's
And
right.
the topic of this podcast is partly what I feel was missing from my own life when I was younger was an understanding that not every single thing has to be going your way to feel like you are living a life of joy. When Michelle filled my form out, my onboarding form, she told me all the places that she finds joy. And we were talking before this recording that I might have to have her back so that we can talk about joy in these other areas. But for today, we're going to talk about joy in writing. But first, Michelle, can you tell us a little about how you define joy or what it means to you?
For me, joy means part of living the process and enjoying it as you go. It can't just be the destination because if all you're doing is looking at the destination, you're missing so much along the way. And joy doesn't always just mean happiness, but it is that joyful feeling that you are reaching towards your goals and your dreams. And that's how I define joy.
I love that. And I think reaching toward our potential,
Yes.
not just things that we would desire, but things that, hopefully you're spending the majority of your time and your effort, your creative energy on things that you have felt deeply called to do. And when we are pursuing those things, I think the destination is more than just, I am a published author. It's I am an author. Like I am living and doing and being this type of person, this way of life. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Because I look at my own life and I realized as soon as I'm writing, I am now an author. And people don't challenge that. Well, what do you have published? Well, I'm not published yet, but that doesn't change the fact of who I am. I learned something recently that I thought was really beautiful. And this is found in the linguistics in Ireland and among Black people. And it's the state of being. So it would be like, I be a writer or I be writing. Am I writing right this second? No, but that is my state of being. And when you are in your state of being, and that's part of that reaching for those goals and your potential, then you are happy. You're having that joy, even when you are frustrated. I always say up to your gills because you can't get a sentence right or something is not working how you want. You're still in a state of joy because that is who your authentic self is.
Oh, I just love that. Did the Irish have a word for that?
They say I be. And it's usually my understanding, which is very limited, is that it always is with that ing ending. So that's why it's not I be author. It's I be writing or I be authoring or I be reading or I be cooking. Those are all parts of my authentic self. And
Interesting.
so when I'm doing those things, I am living in joy.
I knew I would love talking to you about this, and I've already learned something new to consider and contemplate. So now I would love to turn our attention to you and your writing. I feel like you've already explained some of where you might find your joy in the writing, but can you talk to us more about that? Like, where do you find joy in your writing, especially when you're up to your gills? Or, like you were saying, it's not wonderfully easy. Sometimes the words flow, but other times it's a bit of a slog and it's work, not just creative joy flowing from your fingertips. I hope everyone gets to experience that because that's an amazing feeling, but that's not the norm. So how do you find joy in the norm of writing?
All right. So I'm going to back up for just a minute about that state of flow, because when you're in that state of flow, you get so much out and it's so beautiful. And it's those moments sometimes that help you get through the normal slog.
Yeah.
This short story I've been writing, only up to 6,000 words. Some days I can write that in 2 days.
Right.
On this story, even though I love the idea, I have been working on it for about a month to get to 6,000 words. So it has not flowed. And something I tell myself is when somebody reads it, they're never going to look at that and say, was this flowing quickly for her? Did she write it fast? Or, wow, it's hard. It doesn't matter. So when you realize it doesn't matter, then you can have joy in that moment. So, for example, when I thought of the right word for a sentence in a revision, that sense of joy just came over me. Sometimes it's just that I sat down at the computer and even wrote a sentence or a paragraph. If it's hard sometimes. It's okay because hard things are worth it. So that's the other thing. Why I think the writing gives me joy. It is hard. And if it always came easy, I don't think I would feel the same joy that I have now because it is hard. And I've been doing this. I was trying to remember how long it's been. And I'm going to say I started getting really serious in about 2015, maybe towards the end of that year. So this has been a long journey. And because it's so long, you have to give yourself almost like benchmarks to celebrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that we can truly appreciate our accomplishments and have joy in them when it's been difficult. Like I think that's what you were saying, right? Like, but you're still being a writer. Even when it's hard, you are a writer, an author. And the reward may not always be in the work, but in the work, like your body of work, or once it's done and out there and you've done everything you can to build it and create it and make it wonderful.
Part of the joy is also in how it has changed you as a person. And it makes you realize that you can be resilient. It makes you realize that you are a problem solver. It helps you realize that you do know how to communicate. So there's all kinds of elements that come from it. Even just learning a new skill, that brings joy. My research brings joy because I get to learn new things that are so cool and so weird. Like just the other day, I learned that hummingbirds are always 2 hours from death. And that's why they are always so frantic to eat. And I'm like, my goodness, that's so cool just to know that weird fact. So will it go into a story? I don't know, but I still know it now.
Yeah.
And so you have your writing.
Your backyard enjoyment of watching your hummingbird wars.
Yes.
So now you know, dude, she hasn't eaten for a while. You got to get out of the way because so you might end up being a traffic controller, making sure that.
Oh, if I see them there and I need to go outside, I like hover by the door and wait till they leave and they're finished eating because I don't want to interrupt.
You should end up causing the death of a poor hummingbird because you interrupted their dinner time. Oh gosh, that's very morbid and terrible.
I know, but it's true. And that's part of life. There are morbid things in life. There are joyful things in life. And that's why we have to laugh sometimes.
Right? Yeah. So really, I know I didn't prep you for this part, but I am curious.
Throw it at me.
So it's your suggestion that we celebrate milestones along our journey to our destination. How do you celebrate and what does that look like for you? Or because I hear that a lot, like even in goal setting and different things, they talk about rewarding yourself. And I'm terrible at that. I'm just like, I'm moving on to the next thing because there's so many things to do. But I know that it can really sort of deflate me or something, or I can lose sight of all that I have accomplished because of all the things I have not yet accomplished. So
yes,
I know, I understand from the research that I've read and stuff, what value there is in taking that moment. But I personally don't know what that looks like. So what is that like for you?
Okay, so I have been terrible at celebrating also and just pushing forward like I'm some kind of a machine.
Right.
And I found myself burning out. So not only am I trying to find that balance in my day, but find a better way to reward myself. So this is what I have started doing. And there's several things I do. It's not always the same. I call my best friend, who is my mom, and I talk to her about it and tell her where I'm at because she's already heard the frustration before. So she deserves to celebrate with me, right?
So she's capable of giving you that feedback that, oh, good job, which feels so nice. Oh, that's wonderful.
And we want to do these rewards so we get that hit of dopamine, right?
Yes. And it
like
keeps
you do
us
when you're
showing up.
exercising.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons I think it's so important to celebrate.
Yeah.
Because it helps like distill that joy into your being.
Oh, I love that.
So another thing I do, which is maybe a naughty one, is I eat dark chocolate. But I specifically say
dark chocolate during the trial because
I do that too. But that's why I have to tell myself, this is because you succeeded now. And then I eat it and then you just let it melt in your mouth. And it's like, oh, that is a celebration. Okay.
That's awesome.
Sometimes, and this is going to sound weird, but I reward myself by writing more because I enjoyed it so much. I'm like, you've done such a good job. You deserve the opportunity to write just a little bit more. And so I do that.
Wow, that's a good brain hack. I like that. I like ones that trick your brain.
And then I tell myself sometimes, oh, you did so fabulous. You get extra time reading. Because I like to read. So I try to give myself not always a food reward because I don't think that's actually beneficial, but I want to reward myself in different ways. Or I go to a garage sale. I love to look at stuff. So yeah, I just do weird things that make me feel happy.
Those aren't weird at all. In fact, I love.
Well, the garage sale might be. I don't know.
I've been fretting over this concept for a while. And so I've talked to other people, and a lot of times the rewards feel too contrived or something for me personally. I loved your suggestion because they feel more organic and simple. Like we're not talking about going out and spending $100 because you wrote a chapter. It's not like that. It's little things like you don't have to feel guilty or stressed. You wrote this thing. It was really hard to get through. And now you can lie on the couch for an extra half hour reading or something and not feel guilty or bad about
Right.
all of the other things. And I also love,
one thing.
yes,
I try to reward myself every single day.
okay.
And that's just not possible if you're doing those huge rewards, right? So think of what you can do to reward yourself daily. It shouldn't be so hard to reward yourself that you feel down in the meantime. Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're just like talking to the part of me that has been stressed about this. And I'm suddenly feeling like, huh? I'm just going to say, I loved that you also think that writing a little more can be a reward, because I do tend to get in my head a bit and think, oh, well, this is more writing, which is more like stress, quote unquote, or like have tos. So then I might talk myself, you said, talk yourself sort of out of the joy. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I can apply my protecting myself brain, the part of my brain that wants to like soothe and comfort, and say, oh, well, that's more hard work. That's not a good reward, even though I might be feeling the feeling that says I can and should keep writing, but I can talk myself out of feeling good about it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have given me permission to just go where the joy is leading me and allow that to be a reward and a celebration of what's come before.
This goal obviously hasn't been met on the short story, because I just told you it took me a month so far to get 6,000 words. But I have a goal when I'm really writing to write 1,000 words a day. But even if I don't, I still reward myself. So when I get in that flow though, and I suddenly write 3,000 words or more in a day, that's because I'm rewarding myself by being able to write more, because I'm loving it and enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. What a wonderful daily practice that would be. I mean, that's what we all hope and desire. And I think that it is possible to find that on a more regular basis than what we might think. Beautiful, wonderful things to contemplate. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
I'm going to share with you another secret.
Okay, I like secrets.
I know, don't you? All right, this doesn't sound like a secret, but nobody does it. So this is what you do after you've been writing for a bit, an hour, 45 minutes, whatever. Then you lean back, you stretch your arms out, and you take a big kind of yoga breath, right? And that oxygen going into your brain and in your body and your bloodstream, it revitalizes you.
Yeah.
So if you take those moments to step back, take a breath, stand up, touch your toes, look out the window, something like that, it revitalizes you to keep going forward.
Yes. Thank you for that. That is amazing. I'm so glad you came and shared all this wonderful wisdom with us. Do you have any last words that you would like to share with the audience?
I jokingly say that there are only 3 steps in writing. One is to write something really, really good. If you decide to go traditional, to get the agent, and step 3 is to get it published. But if that's all you reward yourself for, you are missing opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's finishing the chapter, finishing the rough draft. It's finishing a round of revisions. It's celebrating that you realize you need to deepen a character and you know how to do it because you talk to your other good writing friends. All of those things are rewards, or award worthy is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so, don't limit yourself. When I think of joy, too many people, they put a cap on it, limit it. Don't limit joy. let it flow out, and not just for yourself, but flow to other people, because when they feel the joy, it's going to fill you with even more joy.
I can attest that you do that in real life. It's beautiful. That's why you become so beloved, because you do that. You lift other people. And you're right that when you lift others, you do get lifted as well. Thank you so much, Michelle. I am excited for everyone to get to know you, to read your books when they come out, and to buy your merch, because that is very cute and fun. All of Michelle's links and information will be in the show notes. So please do go follow her and enjoy her work. I can't wait to read her finished stuff, because I'm sure her own joy and love of what she is doing is going to radiate from those pages. And I think we're going to feel and see that. It's going to be amazing.
There's always joy in my books.
I love it. And so thank you so much for listening today. Don't be afraid to go out and grab yourself some joy. Do as Michelle suggested, and let its potential be limitless, because you are worthy and capable of grabbing that joy for yourself. Thanks everybody for listening. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you.